While the world is sleeping, someone's building the life you want. While alarms are being snoozed, dreams are being delayed. Early mornings don't just wake your body, they wake your discipline. If you keep waking up late, you'll keep arriving late in life. The difference between average and unstoppable often starts before sunrise. Wake up early or stay comfortable forever. Waking up early is not about the clock. It's about control. Control over your time, control over your mind, control over your future. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they start their day behind. When you wake up early, you take the first win of the day. That win changes your mindset. Early mornings are quiet, no noise, no distractions, no excuses. That silence is power. It's where focus is built. It's where discipline grows. It's where leaders are created. That discipline is not built in moments of excitement. It is built in moments of resistance. And no moment tests resistance more than the sound of an alarm in the early morning. When your body wants rest, when your mind wants comfort, and when your bed feels like the safest place in the world, that is where discipline begins. Most people believe discipline is something you gain later, after motivation arrives, after confidence grows, after success appears. But discipline doesn't follow success. Success follows discipline. Waking up early is one of the purest forms of discipline because it forces you to act before emotions take control. Your mind will negotiate. It will say, 5 more minutes. It will say, you deserve rest. It will say, tomorrow will be better. Discipline says, get up anyway. That moment, when you choose action over comfort, rewires your brain. You teach yourself that feelings do not dictate behavior. And that lesson carries into every area of life. When you wake up early consistently, you begin to trust yourself. You become someone who keeps promises, even the promises no one else sees. That self-trust is powerful because a person who trusts themselves does not quit easily. Early mornings create structure. While the world sleeps, you are creating order. You plan your day instead of reacting to it. You decide priorities instead of chasing urgency. Discipline thrives in structure. Chaos weakens discipline. Routine strengthens it. Early mornings remove distractions. No notifications, no noise, no interruptions. Just you and your intentions. That environment forces focus. And focus is discipline in action. Most people live reactively. They wake up late, rush through the morning, and spend the day catching up. That pattern creates stress. Stress drains discipline. Early mornings reverse that cycle. You start the day ahead. When you win the morning, you win momentum. Momentum fuels discipline. Discipline is not about intensity, it's about consistency. You don't need extreme routines. You need repeatable ones. Waking up early is repeatable, and repetition builds identity. Over time, you stop being someone who tries to be disciplined. You become someone who is disciplined. That shift changes behavior automatically. Early mornings also train delayed gratification. You sacrifice comfort now for results later. That mindset is rare. Most people choose immediate pleasure. Discipline chooses long-term gain. The ability to delay gratification is one of the strongest predictors of success. Early mornings practice that skill daily. You don't see immediate rewards for waking up early. No applause. No praise, just effort. That builds internal strength. Internal strength lasts longer than external motivation. When discipline is internal, you don't need reminders. You don't need hype. You show up because it's who you are. Early mornings also build mental toughness. On days you feel tired, unmotivated, or discouraged, you still get up. That proves to your mind that discomfort is survivable. Most people quit because discomfort feels threatening. Early mornings teach you that. Discomfort is temporary, and that lesson builds resilience. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about respect. Respect for your goals. Respect for your future. Respect for your potential. When you wake up early, you send yourself a message, my goals matter. That message compounds over time. Small acts of discipline create big confidence. You walk differently. You think differently. You decide differently. Because discipline sharpens awareness, you become more intentional with your time, your energy, and your choices. Early mornings also eliminate excuses. You cannot blame lack of time when you create it. You cannot blame distractions when you remove them. Responsibility replaces excuses. And responsibility strengthens discipline. When discipline becomes part of your identity, everything else aligns. Work ethic improves. Focus increases. Consistency stabilizes. Waking up early is not about being extreme. It's about being reliable. Reliable to your future self. Because discipline is not built in grand decisions. It is built in quiet moments when no one is watching, no one is applauding, and no one is pushing you. Just you, your alarm, and the choice between comfort and growth in life. Being early is an advantage most people ignore. Not because it's difficult to understand, but because it's uncomfortable to practice. The world rewards preparation, yet most people show up already behind. They wake up late. They rush, they react. And by the time they start moving, the day's already controlling them. Early mornings change that dynamic. They give you something rare: control. Control over your time. Control over your pace. Control over your focus. When you wake up early, you don't start the day in panic. You start it in purpose. There is a psychological advantage to being ahead. You move slower, but you think faster. You're not scrambling to catch up. You're planning to move forward. That mental calm is a weapon. While others are overwhelmed by emails, deadlines, and distractions you've already prepared, early mornings create space. Space to think, space to plan, space to decide. Intentionally, most people never get that space. They live in reaction mode. Reaction mode creates mistakes. Early mornings shift you into creation mode. You decide how the day unfolds instead of letting the day decide for you. A head start is not about doing more. It's about doing the right things first. Important things require energy. Energy is highest in the morning. Your mind is clear. Your willpower is strong. Your focus is sharp. By midday, energy drops. By evening, it's gone. Early mornings protect your best energy for your highest priorities. That alone creates separation. Successful people don't necessarily work longer. They work earlier. They attack important tasks before distractions arrive. That strategy compounds. One productive morning is worth hours of distracted effort later. Early mornings also reduce stress. Stress often comes from feeling behind. Deadlines feel heavier when time feels limited. When you wake up early, time expands. You're no longer racing the clock. You're using it. That shift changes your relationship with pressure. Pressure becomes manageable because you've already built margin. Margin is the hidden advantage of early mornings. Margin allows mistakes without panic. Margin allows adjustments without frustration. People without margin live on edge. People with margin stay composed. Early mornings create margin. Being early also sharpens confidence. When you're prepared, you walk differently. You speak differently. You decide differently. Confidence grows from competence. Competence grows from preparation. Preparation thrives in early mornings. That confidence is not loud. It's calm. It's the confidence of someone who knows they've done the work. Others feel it. Opportunities open to people who are ready. Early mornings make you ready. There's also a competitive advantage. Most people are asleep when you're working. That alone puts you ahead, not because you're better, but because you showed up. Success often favors availability. Early mornings make you available to opportunity. They create time for learning, reading, training, skill development. Skills separate average from elite. And skills require quiet, focused time. That time exists in early mornings. No distractions. No interruptions. Just growth. A head start also affects decision making. When you're not rushed, you make better choices. Rushed decisions are emotional. Prepared decisions are strategic. Early mornings remove urgency. And urgency is the enemy of clarity. You don't feel pressured to respond immediately. You think. You analyze. You choose intentionally. That clarity compounds. Small, better decisions, made consistently, lead to big life changes. Early mornings also build momentum. Momentum is powerful. Once you're moving, staying moving is easier. Waking up early gets you moving before resistance builds. You've already won the first battle of the day. That one fuels the next. Momentum turns effort into flow. Without momentum, everything feels heavy. With momentum, progress feels natural. Early mornings create that momentum. They also remove excuses. When the important work is done early, you can't say you didn't have time. You took responsibility. Responsibility builds ownership. Ownership builds pride. And pride fuels consistency. Being early is not about perfection. It's about positioning. positioning yourself ahead of distractions, ahead of excuses, ahead of chaos. While others are reacting, you are already acting. While others are overwhelmed, you are composed. That difference compounds daily. And over time, small head starts become large gaps. Gaps in results, gaps in confidence, gaps in opportunity. Because when you start ahead, you don't just move faster. You move smarter, you move calmer, and you move with intention. Your mind is the control center of your life. Every decision you make, every action you take, every habit you build starts in the mind. And the strongest minds are not built in comfort. They are built in consistency. Early mornings are mental training. Not for the body, for the brain. Before the world wakes up, your mind is clear. No noise, no comparison, no pressure. That silence is rare. And rare environments create rare mindsets. When you wake up early, you give your mind space to breathe. Most people never experience mental clarity because they wake up into chaos. Notifications, news, messages, instant noise. That noise fragments focus. Early mornings protect your attention. Attention is power. What you focus on shapes what you become. When your focus is sharp, your thinking improves. You begin the day centered instead of scattered. Mental strength grows when you train focus daily. Early mornings reduce decision fatigue. Later in the day, your mind is tired. You make reactive choices. You give in to temptation. You lose patience. Early mornings allow you to make important decisions when your willpower is highest. That preserves mental energy. Preserved energy means better self-control. Self-control is mental strength. When you consistently wake up early, your mind learns discipline. Discipline is not force, it's alignment. You align your actions with your goals, and alignment creates clarity. Clarity reduces stress. Stress clouds judgment. Early mornings clear mental fog. Your thinking becomes sharper, calmer, more intentional. Mental strength also comes from solitude. Solitude is uncomfortable for people who avoid themselves, but growth requires solitude. Early mornings offer safe solitude. Time to reflect. Time to think. Time to plan. Reflection strengthens awareness. Awareness strengthens emotional control. When you understand your emotions, they stop controlling you. Most people react emotionally because they never slow down enough to process feelings. Early mornings give you that space. You face your thoughts instead of escaping them. That builds mental resilience. Resilience is not about never feeling weak. It's about staying stable when weakness appears. Early mornings also sharpen mental toughness. Waking up early is a voluntary challenge. You choose discomfort. That choice trains your brain to handle stress. Your brain learns this is uncomfortable, but I can handle it. That lesson transfers. Difficult conversations feel easier. Hard tasks feel manageable. Pressure feels familiar because your mind has been trained. Mental strength is built through repeated exposure to difficulty. Early mornings provide that exposure daily. Your mind also becomes proactive. Instead of reacting to life, you anticipate it, you plan. Planning reduces anxiety. Anxiety often comes from uncertainty. Early mornings allow you to define your day. Defined days reduce mental overload. Mental overload leads to burnout. Early mornings prevent burnout by creating structure. Structure calms the mind. A calm mind performs better. Early mornings also help separate emotion from action. When tired, people confuse feelings with facts. I don't feel like it becomes I can't do it. Early mornings train you to act regardless of feeling. That skill is mental power. You don't wait for motivation. You create momentum. Momentum silences doubt. Doubt weakens the mind. Confidence strengthens it. Confidence comes from evidence. Every early morning is evidence that you can do hard things. That evidence accumulates. You stop questioning yourself. You trust your ability to show up. That trust stabilizes the mind. Mental strength also improves patience. Patience is a sign of control. People with weak minds rush. They get irritated easily. They overreact. Early mornings slow your pace. You are not in a hurry. You already invested time early. That creates patience. Patience improves relationships. Patience improves decision-making. Patience improves performance. Early mornings also reduce mental clutter. Cluttered minds feel overwhelmed. Simple routines simplify thinking. Early routines signal safety to the brain. Safety reduces stress hormones. Reduced stress improves cognitive function. Your thinking becomes cleaner, sharper, more strategic. Early mornings also allow time to feed your mind. Reading, learning, visualizing. Your mind grows when it is nourished. Most people consume noise. Early risers consume knowledge. Knowledge strengthens perspective. Perspective strengthens mental toughness. Because you understand that setbacks are temporary, effort matters, and growth is possible. Mental strength is not loud. It's quiet confidence. It's the ability to stay calm when others panic, to stay focused when others scatter, to stay disciplined when others drift. Early mornings shape that mindset, not in one day, but day after day, quietly, relentlessly, until your mind becomes trained to handle pressure, resist distraction, and stay clear. Even when the world gets loud, every generation has access to opportunity, but not everyone has access to discipline. That is what creates separation. Success is rarely about talent alone. Talent is common. What's rare is commitment. When no one is watching, early mornings expose that difference. Most people choose comfort, they choose sleep, they choose ease. They choose what feels good right now. Winners choose commitment. They choose effort before applause. Early mornings are not popular. And that is exactly why they work. If everyone did it, it wouldn't separate anyone. But most people won't. That's the gap. Winners understand that separation doesn't come from doing extraordinary things. It comes from doing ordinary things with extraordinary consistency. Waking up early is ordinary. Doing it every day is not. That consistency builds a gap between those who dream and those who execute. While the crowd sleeps, winners are preparing. Preparation compounds. Small advantages stacked daily become massive advantages over time. That is how separation happens, not overnight, but relentlessly. Early mornings also filter seriousness. People say they want success, but early mornings ask a hard question. How bad do you really want it? Excuses disappear when alarms ring. You either show up or you don't. There is no middle ground. That honesty creates clarity. Winners are honest with themselves. They don't romanticize comfort. They accept sacrifice. Sacrifice is the price of separation. Early mornings also eliminate comparison. When you wake up early, you stop watching others. You're too busy building. Comparison weakens focus. Focus strengthens execution. Execution produces results. Results separate you from the crowd. The crowd talks. Winners act. Talking is easy when you're comfortable. Action requires discomfort. Early mornings force action. You don't wait for motivation. You move without it. That alone places you ahead. Winners also understand leverage. They use time when others waste it. Time is the only resource everyone receives equally. How you use it creates inequality. Early mornings turn unused time into productive time. That is leverage. The crowd uses time to rest more. Winners use time to grow more. Growth compounds. And compounded growth creates distance. Early mornings also build identity. You stop seeing yourself as just like everyone else. Your habits say otherwise. Habit shapes self-image. Self-image shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcomes. Winners have habits the crowd avoids. Early mornings are one of them. The crowd needs motivation. Winners rely on routine. Routine removes decision-making, no debate, no negotiation. You wake up because that's what you do. That simplicity creates consistency. Consistency creates excellence. Early mornings also sharpen hunger. Hunger not for food, for progress. When you sacrifice comfort, you respect opportunity. People who get everything easily rarely value anything deeply. Winners value effort. Effort sharpens hunger. Hunger fuels persistence. Persistence separates winners from quitters. The crowd quits quietly. They drift, they settle, they blame circumstances. Winners adjust, they adapt, they continue. Early mornings teach responsibility. No one forces you to wake up early. No one checks. No one claps. That builds internal accountability. Internal accountability is rare, and rarity creates separation. Winners also understand solitude. They are comfortable being alone. The crowd fears being alone. Early mornings are lonely, and that loneliness strengthens independence. Independent thinkers create original paths. Original paths create standout results. Winners don't need permission. They move before validation. Early mornings allow that freedom. Freedom to work without noise. Freedom to think without influence. Freedom to build quietly. The crowd is distracted. Winners are focused. Distraction feels good short term. Focus pays long term. Early mornings reward long-term thinkers. They create an environment where focus is protected. And protected focus creates extraordinary output. Over time, the gap becomes visible. Results show, not because winners are lucky, not because they are gifted, but because they were willing to do what others were not for longer than others would. That willingness becomes identity. Identity becomes destiny. Early mornings do not guarantee success, but they guarantee separation. Separation from excuses. Separation from average. Separation from the crowd. And once separated, it becomes impossible to live like everyone else again. Long-term success is not built in moments of intensity. It is built in habits that last. Anyone can push hard for a week. Anyone can feel motivated for a month. But success belongs to those who stay consistent when excitement fades. Early mornings are not a shortcut. They are a system that quietly compounds effort into results. Most people look for breakthroughs. They want visible change fast. But real success grows invisibly first. Early mornings work in the background. They don't impress people immediately. They don't create instant recognition. But they create progress. And progress repeated daily creates transformation. When you wake up early consistently, you build a rhythm. That rhythm becomes your foundation. You stop relying on motivation and start relying on routine. Routine removes uncertainty. Uncertainty causes hesitation. Hesitation delays progress. Early mornings eliminate hesitation. You wake up knowing exactly what to do. That clarity saves energy. Saved energy compounds into productivity. Productivity compounds into achievement. This is how long-term success is built. Early mornings also create alignment. Your actions align with your goals. Your time aligns with your priorities. Your effort aligns with your vision. Most people live misaligned lives. They say one thing and do another. Early mornings close that gap. You prove to yourself that your goals matter enough to sacrifice comfort. That proof builds confidence. Confidence fuels persistence. Persistence outlasts talent. Talent without persistence fades. Persistence with discipline lasts. Early mornings train persistence. They also create stability. Long-term success requires emotional stability. Highs and lows are part of the journey. Without stability, people quit when emotions drop. Early mornings stabilize behavior. You show up regardless of mood. That reliability builds momentum. Momentum reduces friction. Less friction means faster progress with less stress. Early mornings also strengthen patience. Long-term success requires waiting for results, waiting for recognition, waiting for opportunities. Impatient people abandon processes before they pay off. Early mornings condition patience. You do the work without immediate reward. That prepares you for long-term gains. Short-term thinkers chase quick wins. Long-term thinkers build systems. Early mornings are a long-term system. They create space for growth, reading, learning, skill development. Skills compound. One new skill may not change your life. 10 skills built over years will. Early mornings provide the time to build those skills without pressure, without distraction. That quiet investment creates future leverage. Early mornings also reduce burnout. Burnout comes from chaos, from rushing, from reacting, from always being behind. Early mornings restore control. Control reduces stress. Reduced stress improves sustainability. Sustainable effort beats intense effort every time. Early mornings protect sustainability. They also improve self-respect. You start respecting your own standards. You don't negotiate with discipline. You honor commitments. That self-respect changes how you operate. You tolerate less distraction. You accept fewer excuses. That raises your baseline. Raising your baseline raises your outcomes. Early mornings also create legacy. Success is not just what you achieve, it's what you model. When people see consistency, they see leadership. Leadership starts with self-leadership. Early mornings are self-leadership in action. They prove you can govern yourself. People who can lead themselves are trusted with more responsibility, more opportunity, more influence. That is long-term success. Over time, results become visible, not because you chase success, but because you became disciplined. Success is attracted to consistency. Opportunities show up for people who are late. Early mornings make you ready, day after day, quietly, relentlessly. And then one day, what once felt difficult feels normal. Waking up early is no longer a struggle. It's your identity. And when discipline becomes identity, success becomes inevitable. Not overnight, not by luck, but by choice. So when the alarm rings tomorrow, understand this. That moment is not about sleep. It's about direction. It's about who you are becoming. It's about the future you are quietly building while the world is still dreaming. Get up, show up, and remember long-term. Success is earned before sunrise. You don't need motivation every day. You need discipline every morning. The bed will always feel good. Sleep will always feel easy. But your future's built by what you do before the world wakes up. So tomorrow morning, when the alarm goes off, don't negotiate with comfort. Get up, take control, and earn the life you want.